learn to ignore people. Yes. Now, you're not going to enjoy traveling solo if you do not ignore people. Now, the reason why people hate traveling solo is one, the discomfort of figuring out things by yourself, and then feeling like you will be lonely, or maybe you will be bored, or feeling like maybe when you make a mistake that everyone else is looking at you. Learn to ignore people. The reality is that people really do not care about if you look awkward, or if you are not figuring things out. Everyone has a first time. At every point in time, you should feel safe. If you don't feel safe, if your instinct kicks in, you have it for a reason, then you should do something about it. You should remove yourself from that situation, and you should get help as soon as possible. Now, I am talking about the simple thing, like going to a restaurant and requesting for a table for one. Now, the thing is that fear is actually what limits us from doing the things that we want to. But you realize that the moment you start doing it, you would find out that it's not as difficult, as scary as you actually thought it was. So I would say, learn to ignore people. That's where it starts from. No matter who they are, no matter what they look like, learn to ignore them. Now, before you travel solo, I will give you a little hack. Start by going to a restaurant in your city. Go to a restaurant in the evening when it is full and request for a table for one. Yes, request for a table for one. Sit down, order your food, and eat by yourself. Or maybe go to a cinema. Buy yourself a ticket. Sit down, buy yourself snacks, and watch a movie by yourself. What you're doing is that you are empowering yourself. It's just a first step to deal with the feeling of discomfort, because actually going to a restaurant and sitting and eating by yourself, once you can conquer that, trust me, you can do anything. Why? Because you would do it a lot when you are traveling abroad. So go to a restaurant, and then I hope that hack would help you take the next step that I'm going to list in this video. I would also tell you that the moment you decide to go, do not overthink it. Yes, overthinking is what is limiting you. It is not that serious. What you should be concerned about is your safety. Once you figure that out, everything else is not as difficult as you think it is. Most times people will say, okay, if I travel, who is going to help me take a picture? There are people out there traveling by themselves. Yes, I know there are instances, because I've had instances where maybe I approach someone and then maybe tell them to take a picture, and they wouldn't want to do that. You move on to the next person. It's not that serious. You don't know what they're going through in life, and it's really not that serious. So I'm saying, if you're worried about who will take pictures, I travel alone or by myself. And you want to check out my Instagram page, I do have lovely pictures. And most times I just give people. Sometimes you give one person and then they take those pictures that are not nice. I just take it and look for the next person. Sometimes you even travel with friends that can't take pictures, good pictures. So what would you do? Would you discard them because they can't take pictures? The answer is no. So what I'm saying, there's always a stranger there that will take a picture of you, and most times you can even strike a conversation that would lead to a good connection throughout that trip. I can't count the number of times I have approached people to help me take pictures, and then those people ended up becoming my friends. Like, it's the first thing. And most times I always look for someone who is traveling by themselves. They're usually more open than the ones who are traveling in group. At every point in time, you need money. The reason why is because, let's say you were going to go somewhere, if you're with someone and then you were going somewhere, maybe you had to go for an experience and you were taking a taxi, you would have to split that cost with the person, your partner, whoever you're with. But when you're by yourself, it means you'll be handling 100% of the cost. Also, if you go somewhere and then you cannot figure out your way, maybe you were trying to use the public transport system and you couldn't figure it out, it's easy for you to just say, I'm shutting things down at this point in time, let me take a cab. And always ensure that you have you're connected to some internet service wherever you are, because it will just make you feel safer, especially when you're able to hail a cab or something like that. So always ensure that you either buy a local SIM, or you find there are all these apps that maybe you're willing to, some apps that actually allow you to roam, actually roam, and then you get data service. So ensure that you always have internet and that you always have money. Have some cash with you. Even though you have your bank cards, always make sure you have cash, because in some cities you might find out that it's some places might not take cash, take cards, and you might need to spend cash. So have a small amount of cash. What is sufficient money would depend on your travel style, your taste, and your preference. So I'm not going to tell you what would fit, whatever works for you. You know yourself, you know your budget. So always ensure that you have sufficient money to take care of anything that happens, anything that any unforeseen circumstance or anything that you may not envisage. That is very important for every solo traveler. Another thing is that you want to make sure that at all times someone knows where you are. Now, it's if you have if you're traveling by yourself and then you have a partner, you're married, even if you're not, you have your mom, your friend, you're not close to family, there must be someone that you consider family. The point is for you to always keep in touch with someone. So at every point in time, they know where you are. I'm not saying if you're stepping out to eat. Of course, maybe if there are people that you talk to on a regular, you would realize that they would know even when you're stepping out to eat. For example, let's say you have a husband or you have a boyfriend. The moment you step, he already has your itinerary for the day. By the time you're speaking to him, let's say you speak to him in the morning, he already has your itinerary for the day. So he knows, okay, you're doing this, and that. So if you go for hours and he hasn't heard from you, you would find that they will check in to find out how your day is going. Likewise, also reciprocate in terms of once you're going out, you're going for an activity, you're going out of town, you just make sure somebody knows. It could be your friend, it could be your sister, it could be someone close to you. So always make sure that someone knows where you are at every point in time, because if they've not heard from you, they would reach out and then actually check on you. And also sending them your hotel details. Like I share my my Uber ride with a friend, like if I'm taking a taxi and then it is late in the night or just anything, I just share my ride, so at every point in time, someone knows where I am. I don't do it all the time, but I do it when I don't feel, when it feels a bit sketchy, or maybe it's late and I got into a town late. I always share my ride. So you also do that. So I hope with this, you will learn to ignore people when you're traveling, because traveling solo is a good thing. There are benefits to it. You wake up, you decide, okay, today I'm doing nothing. Nobody's telling you, no, let's go. You decide today I am going to go all day and walk 20,000 steps. You will go, you just keep roaming, you finish this tour, you join another one. You are king of your time. You do what you want to do. Yes, you would make mistakes, but you would correct it, and it builds confidence. It is liberating. Even though it's scary, it is also liberating. And trust me, it would be the most challenging yet most liberating life experience that you would have. So don't be afraid. If you want tips, more tips on how to do it by yourself. I do travel solo all the time, so go watch my videos and just see how I do it. I meet amazing people. I have contacts that have become clients, just by traveling by myself and being open to communication with other people. So I hope this was useful. Now go travel and tell me all about it when you do. Also, have you traveled solo before? Did you like it? Were you afraid? How did you overcome your fear? Leave your comments here and then we would chat. Have a good day. Hi, my name is Otto Bongton, and I'm happy to present to you my new book, Girls Don't Travel Just for Flowers. Now let me tell you a short story about a girl called Ayanti. Ayanti is a young African girl who grew up in a small village. Her favorite pastime was spotting planes in the sky while playing with other children. She would spend time watching planes soar and dreaming of the moment she would be on one. She filled her days with purpose because she knew her dreams would come true. No challenge felt too big for Ayanti. Not because life was easy, but because her courage was always bigger than her fears. Now, one year changed everything, and it was the year Ayanti took her first international flight. She believed in her daydreams, not miracles, but it was a miracle that happened. Now, Girls Don't Travel Just for Flowers is the story of that miracle. With each destination, Ayanti's view of the world expanded, and so will yours as you journey through the pages of this book. Imagine a world where courage fuels your dreams. Now, would you live it intentionally? Too often we postpone our happiness, believing that it lies in achieving certain milestones or acquiring material wealth or rewards. Now, the truth is, our time here is brief, and that makes happiness urgent and not optional. This book is more than just an adventure. It is a tribute to resilience, passion, and the boldness it takes to create a life that feels like your own. Now, I hope this book inspires you to find joy in your everyday, and to fiercely protect the happiness that you have created for yourself, no matter the circumstances. Because here's the truth. We are not here long enough to live unhappily. Now, to get a copy of this book, you can go to www.workaholic.com, where you can order a copy of Girls Don't Travel Just for Flowers.